please bring in Florida Panthers treasured alum and broadcaster Randy Moller, whom I understand, Moles, you're hurting a little. How you doing? But congratulations, by the way, on being a Stanley Cup champion. What's going on, Moles?
Well, first of all, Rod, thanks for having me on. The second thing is, how do I get tickets for that music festival in Moose Jaw? I'd like the Flock of Seagulls. My goodness, I haven't seen them in a while. That would be a great party. That's for sure.
How about that?
Yeah, no kidding.
No,
We'll work on it. We'll work on it.
Oh, it's obviously it's fantastic. The feeling, everything that you've been told would happen, and more. Yeah, my voice. We've had a flu, cold, go through a lot of people down here in South Florida. My family's been affected by it. My wife and that, and I'm fortunate though that it really just affected my voice, and it didn't help. Obviously, the late night after Monday after the Stanley Cup win, and then a few of us got together on Tuesday for a lunch for a few hours down on the Strip in Fort Lauderdale. So by the time about 10 o'clock that night, I was to music to my wife's ears that I had completely lost my voice. It's starting to come back, but no, I'm humbled. I'm proud. What happens, so Rod, is you get especially for me, when you win the Stanley Cup, I found myself over the last little while, and still today, you just start reminiscing about how you got here, and the obstacles, the good times, the challenging times, the adversities, and that is. Most people know that I'm the longest down here with the team in 29 years, and oh boy, we went through some dark times with this franchise, and to see the come out the other end and what we're able to accomplish is really remarkable. So I'm proud to be a part of it, and it was a special feeling, and to be able to share with your family and with your close friends and your broadcast partners like Steve Goldstein, who does our play-by-play, the best in the business. We've been together for 28 years and covering the Florida Panthers. So that in itself is very, very gratifying and very satisfying. Has it hit me totally? Probably not. Probably won't until after the parade on Sunday. That should be an unbelievable celebration. So looking forward to it.
That's what I told your Canadian brethren, Moles, was I said, you see Bobrovsky and Kachuk and Maurice and Barkov, but they haven't put in the years. They earned it, of course, but the behind the scenes, yourself, Billy, Doug Plagans, Adeline, Jameson, all the people that I see that the fans don't, that's a group. And Addie said, she's like, we've been through the dark times. You just said it. She said the same thing. It makes you appreciate it more, though, wouldn't you say, Randy?
Yeah, you do. You absolutely do. I think I touched on it. And the other thing, I've got to kind of, sorry, I apologize. I've got to kind of stay monotone here because my voice, I'll start cracking. But the other thing too, Rod, I will tell you, and I have the utmost respect and the utmost respect for the Edmonton Oilers and what they were able to accomplish. You talk about adversity. When they were sitting at the bottom of the NHL in the first month of the season, and of course the coaching change and how they got their game together and really became a powerhouse, and that hats off to them. Congratulations on a wonderful year. And as I told Jack Michaels, he texted me congratulations. I said, okay, Jack, you and I talked before the series. I win this year. You win next year. And I hope that's true. The Edmonton's a great organization, of course, with the best player in the world in Connor McDavid. But I have to say this. It's that much sweeter because going into that Game 7, all you heard was the total collapse, the choke job, and 95% of media, fans, not down here, but around the NHL, thought that it was over. Edmonton was going to do the reverse sweep and the whole bit. And I just wouldn't fall into that trap. I knew I've been around this team forever and this group of this year and what they can accomplish if they just put one good game together, that they could win this thing. And that's exactly what they did. They snuffed out Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl and their star players and were able to win a low-scoring game. That, my friend, I was getting so sick and tired over the last week of just hearing that the gloom and doom of the Florida Panthers and I just never totally believed that that was going to be the case, and I was proven right. And that, my friend, is one of the most gratifying things.
Great feeling for sure. And I was going to ask you that. It could certainly serve as great motivation. I was wondering what your anxiety or nerves level was on a scale of 1 to 10 going into Game 7. Yeah. I mean, what was it like for you leading up to that game?
Rod, I'll be honest with you. I wasn't nervous for the team. I was anxious because of all these days off. I mean, this series has dragged on how many days. I was just anxious, but I was confident as well because, as I said, and I'll open up a little bit too. This is my 49th interview that I've done over the last 6 days. And I've said it so many of these interviews that I'd like to see the Panthers score the first goal in Game 7. And whatever happens after, whether Edmonton comes back and wins it, okay. And the reason I wanted to see that is to see how the change and how the dynamic of the game would change or not change, momentum or whatever. And sure enough, the Panthers scored the first goal. Now, as we all know, Edmonton scored shortly after, but I just wanted to see how it would possibly change, not the outcome of the game, but just how the game flow would go after that for the 60 minutes or plus. And I was pleased that the Panthers were able to get that first goal. You saw how they came out. They were tramping, they were hitting, they were forechecking, they were playing Panther hockey. So sitting upstairs in that press box, watching the game, I was pretty confident that the Panthers, they had their game going that we did not see in games, obviously, 4, 5, and 6. And I give full marks to the Edmonton Oilers. They played their game. They sucked the Panthers away from their game, and that's how hockey is played, won and lost. But the Panthers regained that in game number 7. So that's how I saw it, and that's what my feelings were as far as nervousness, anxiety, and confidence or not.
Yeah, they got back to being themselves. Wonderful analysis. And my last one, Randy, because I know how busy you are. Grateful for the time. What will this Stanley Cup championship do for hockey in South Florida? I'm kind of taking an informal poll, asking everybody, what do you think it'll do?
Well, it has grown leaps and bounds, and I'd be remiss not to mention that when the Viola family, Vinny Viola and his partner Doug Seafood, purchased this team, one of my first meetings with them, they said, we are going to build this team both on the ice and off the ice, and we are going to invest a lot of resources in youth hockey and in the community, and to get this community back behind the Florida Panthers, and in unison build the team on the ice with good, solid decisions and do it right. And that's what Vinny Viola, he's kept his word. They've done it. It's taken a few years, over 10 years, but they've done everything that they said they were going to do. So to answer your question, 2 years ago, winning the President's Trophy, the Florida Panthers, last year getting to the finals, and this year ultimately winning the Stanley Cup. And they built that beautiful new practice facility and the twin rinks in downtown Fort Lauderdale that is going to grow this game. This is a destination for the players down here, and the fans are so proud of this team. It can only grow the game, and we've got thousands and thousands of not only kids but men and women and that are being introduced to the game on a daily basis that we're growing, and there's more rinks that are going to be built, and there's going to be more hockey programs that are going to be developed already now. But it's already grown 500% over the last 5 or 6 years.
That's going to be fun to watch. Well, Randy, we'll let you go. Thanks for being a great guy. Thanks for being a great friend. And congratulations, Stanley Cup champion, sir.
Well, Rod, and I want to thank you. You have been a supporter not only of me, Billy Lindsay, but the Florida Panthers as well. Always including the Panthers and Tampa Bay Lightning in your podcasts and that have really grown the fan base down here. And again, I'd be remiss without thanking you personally and professionally. You have been a good friend for a long time. And I love your podcasts, and thank you for having me on and sharing this moment with me, because this is what it's all about. When you win, you want to be surrounded by friends and family to enjoy it, and I certainly include you.
Thank you so much, Randy. Thank you. Can't wait to see you again. Be safe, for God's sakes, and take care of that moneymaker, Randy Moller from Alberta.